I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes. I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Very pleasant good day to you, and welcome to the Beaumont Curling Club. It's the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Shawn, Joyce, and we're featuring this game between Team Kerry Galusha and Team Steele. And Shawn, has been a good start for Kerry Galusha so far.
Yeah, she's won her first 2 games, just 3 games in the round robin section of this event for all of these teams. So she's 2-0 coming in, a chance to move to 3-0, and that would put her in strong position going into the playoffs. Just 6 teams making the playoffs in the 12-team field. They lost the draw to the button here. They brought the first stone into the rings, and it looks like both teams content to play hits here. I thought you once in a while you'll see a team when a rock comes to the back of the house like that, they'll hit it, try to roll to the corner, and with last rock, this is a chance to throw the corner guard if she wanted to play a little bit more aggressively, and it's a low risk because the play is off the center line. But if she's hitting this one, I've got to think she's content to just try to keep an open end here in the first and try to retain that hammer into the second.
Yes, that was Shawn on Barber, who made that hit, throwing lead rocks.
The lineup for the Steele team obviously doesn't match what we've got, because it said that Steele is skipping the team, and there she is sweeping. So they've had a switch up somewhere along the way, and it looks like they're playing shorthanded as well.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
Do my best to figure out who's here and who's not.
Well, yeah, well that was Megan throwing lead.
I think I'm going to let you try to introduce this player throwing second. Ella.
This is Ella Scodge. And if we're saying it wrong and Mom or Dad are listening, we apologize, and feel free to phonetically correct us in the chat. You always want to get it right. We do try.
Kerry's team's a 5-player team this year, and as I understand it, Ella and Sydney played together through juniors. Megan Kohler is the normal third on the team, and she's away this week.
So that means Sydney will be playing third. And both teams playing hits back and forth here in the opening end, trying to get the feel for things now. It hasn't been quite as easy of a road for Team Steele here.
No, they're on the other end of it. They're 0-2 coming into this game, and looking at the standings coming in, they're mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. So just looking to have a good game here and potentially play a little bit of spoiler. There is a chance that if the Galusha team loses this game, they'll end up tied atop their pool. I do think, if I've got things figured out right, they would have the tiebreaker advantage, but anything we say is unofficial.
That's officially official. Keep on going back and down the ice.
I'm not sure what they're using for tiebreaker procedures here at this particular event. And I do think when I looked at the pools ahead of time, just because of who's playing head-to-head, like I think the two teams that are both 2-0 in Pool D they've got the women's pools labeled D, E, and F. The men's are A, B, and C. So Ashley Thevenot, Hannah Phillips, both 2-0 in that pool playing head-to-head. So one of them's going to end up 3-0. The other one's 2-1. They'll be the top two teams in that pool. Pool E has a team at 2-0 and two teams at 1-1, I believe. So there's a possible logjam there at three teams tied at 2-1. And then, of course, the possibility exists in this pool that two teams could end up tied at 2-1. So really, you could have one team clear at 3-0 and then six other teams at 2-1, and only six teams make the playoffs. And I don't know what the tiebreaker procedure is here in Beaumont. We'll see whether or not.
They have been keeping track of the draw shot challenge.
Oh yeah, they do. They have to use it for a tiebreaker. The head-to-head challenge or the head-to-head tie in Pool E, if it ends up that way with three teams at 2-1, they would be still tied head-to-head. So they'd have to go to draw the button even to finish to decide who's got first in the pool. A nice draw there. Important to be, you don't often try to put one behind the tee line, but they wanted it deep enough so that they didn't leave a chance at a double here.
Wasting no time getting that rock on the way. This one is going to just clip it. Lose the shooter. So just a relatively normal split the rings here. So here's one from Sydney Galusha, looking to give it a friend. Once again, like you said, important to stay even here.
Yeah, this one's going to be a little deep. Whether it'll stop in time, well, boy, it sure does come down in the house there.
Yeah, they'll be able to roll over towards it at least.
Yeah.
Pretty flat for a double. You'd have to throw it extremely heavy.
I'm not sure Kerry's brother could make that double.
Oh, we've written shots off from him before, and he's made us pay, so. But that does roll over right over in the vicinity, so they'll have to do some work to separate him again. Obviously, curling fans were no stranger to Kerry Galusha, longtime, many-time representative of the territories of the Scotties.
Back to throwing skip stones, too. She was throwing lead, at least last year, I think. Now, that stemmed from, if I recall correctly, she'd had, and I want to say it was knee surgery, just because anytime you talk about a curler with an injury, it's a knee.
It's a knee or a hip. It's one or the other.
Yeah, and she when she came back, she was throwing, if I remember the story correctly, when she came back, she was throwing lead, and it was working for them, so they just left it that way. But traditionally has been a last rock thrower at skip.
Using the old hair broom for the delivery.
So Sweeping for some curl here. They wanted to get across the nose and roll away from the other stone. They might get away with it as long as it hangs on for a bite.
Does it? Yes, it does.
I think so. And it's a tough double where it is.
Yeah, it'd be tricky for sure.
Could try to roll in front of it too.
No, this just isn't fair. The last rock thrower isn't wearing a team shirt with her name on it.
She isn't, but I've got 2 pictures on my roster for the player, and so I'm pretty sure this is Daisy Brown.
Okay, then. We solved our mystery.
Who has been listed as their 4th rock thrower, but
So-
Heather Steele was listed as the skip, so they've switched things up a little bit here this weekend.
May also be a thing for this game only. Who knows?
Could be.
Because we did mention the situation they find themselves in. So it's a good time to try something if you want to. Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, they would like to roll a little farther because, I mean, if Kerry makes the hit, stays now, even if she rolls a little bit to the outside, yes, it might leave a double, but it's going to be hard to get a double and roll out. So really, you're forced anyway. If you roll in front of that red stone for her to pass it by the red at the back, she might roll out, and then you've got a chance to blank off the back one. It still has to be made, and there's not a lot of room to roll to the outside.
So here comes Kerry Galusha out of Yellowknife.
She was not wide.
They're going hard. Working hard to hold this. Scout's doing everything she can.
Yeah, just not a good release and over curls it.
And just like that, get a freebie. Just deciding which turn they want to take.
Yeah, that ice, it almost looks like they're trying to come towards their own. Both teams did have, and granted the draw to the button goes the other direction, but they had a practice session before and had the draw to the button for Hammer, which she won. You typically would think she'd throw the same draw to the button path to pick up her deuce right here. This is a little odd that she's kind of drawing away from the center line. She does have backing this way, but if you throw to the backing and it doesn't curl that far, you can go right by it.
Casey Brown with the final shot at the first 10. Just needed to catch a good piece of paint. Seem to think it's okay. Now Heather will help it out just a little bit. Just a little bit. No problem. Put 2 on the board for Team Steele. They take the early lead. We'll be back right after this. You're watching Curling Stadium.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
And we're back here at the Beaumont Curling Club. It's the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series. Thanks for tuning in to Curling Stadium. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by my good friend Shawn Joyce. And it was an unexpected deuce for Team Steele there in the first 10.
Yeah, certainly. It didn't ever look like they were going to get a deuce. Looked like they might be forced for most of the end. Just after one miscue earlier on. Came out of nowhere. Just a bad release for Kerry Galusha on her last one and overcurled.
And Heather Steele has not taken that smile off her face yet. They are having a good time out there.
Well, you know, that's the... Not sure what word to use here. I was going to say that's the problem with a small pool round robin when you get into a situation like this, because this game might matter to Kerry Galusha.
Right.
But it doesn't matter to Heather Steele. So they can play a lot more loose. And, you know, that can make a team like that very dangerous.
Right, because they'll take chances they might not take otherwise.
Exactly. So you're not getting the same game out of them necessarily as the first couple of opponents that they had. They play very loose, and they can afford to play aggressive. And, you know, these are all good players out here. Just because you're 0-2, you know, there's 4 other players. Well,
yeah,
there's at least 3 other players and maybe 4 other players on the other side that they can all make shots too. So you can play well and lose.
The old saying in the NFL, you know, when you lose to a suboptimal team, well, the other team gets paid too. To make this hit, skitter on over.
It's not exactly true in curling, because if you didn't make the playoffs, you're not getting
No,
paid.
yeah, you ain't getting paid. I know. So we're going to see Megan Chateauverc. I make this hit and get a little bit of a roll. Gonna lose the shooter.
I think you might see Kerry go right around. No hesitation. She's not really worried about that Yellowstone in the back 4 foot. She can deal with it later. This is your chance to get something around the corner guard and see if you can't set up a deuce here.
Stone's on the way from Scotch. This one needs to get past the guard, and it's not going to. It is going to find a piece of the house, but it's not in a best spot.
Yeah, they would have liked to have gotten it by for sure. It's not horrible where it is. Heather's going to have to make a play on it. She can't really roll under. She'd have to risk jamming. Might have had a little bit of a set on the release.
It is going to come back and make the takeout. We'll lose a shooter, however.
So another chance for the come around. Never seen the stats on it, but for a shot like this, you have to think the percentages go way up on the second attempt, and that seems blatantly obvious. But when you talk about how much they play in so much of the game is draw to the middle, especially early in the game, because you've done that in your pregame practice and everything. You don't get a lot of chances early to see the path to the corner. Well, she just got to see it on her first one, so she's going to feel a lot more confident as to what this rock's going to do on her second one. And after I said that, she's going to throw it to that. No, this is pretty good. They backed away like it was heavy. You're fine being deep there. You just want to make sure it buries.
Well, they were definitely missed the light there the first time, so heavy would be the natural progression off of that.
I would also have to say I'm surprised, and they probably are too, that didn't finish harder than that coming in, because that first stone, granted, a little bit light, but coming by, trying to get by the guard, it was curling so hard. And that one didn't finish quite as hard. There's actually a sliver of it still open. This is the either or. You want to make sure something red moves here.
So just coming down with quiet weight here is Heather Steele. Megan just with a heavy clean on it right now. Needs it to take the break. Gonna make it past the guard. Do you get far enough over to clear it? And clear it out you do. Nifty little shot there. Now you're ripping around again. Try to figure out if that's out or not. If that's ever a problem.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, because it's far enough off that even if you jam something on it, it shouldn't be in the rings. But it didn't look like it stopped spinning or anything. Where
come around attempt number 3. This one's breaking a little bit harder.
Yeah, it's certainly curling harder than the last one, but it's also skating a lot farther.
Yeah, 4th shot down the line now.
Stacey Brown thinking maybe we better get rid of this guard before they actually make one of those.
Probably not a bad idea. You're probably giving Kerry the blank here, but they still have to execute it.
It's not a slam dunk that you're giving the blank. I mean, it looks tough, but it's probably there to roll into the rings at the other side of the 12-foot. Hit about half a rock with the weight that she throws. This is going to be close.
Hit it. Now can he get on the rings? Brush it all the way. Catch that last little bit of spin. Do you get it there? Ah, yes. Great execution. Like you said, that was not easy.
No. But, it's in her, again, not knowing these players really well, but having watched Heather's thrown, 5 hits already, and looking at the weight she throws, like the weight she's comfortable throwing was the perfect weight to make that shot.
What do you figure that weight was? About a 8.5 or 9?
Oh, not even. Like I would call it like a control hit. Like it's
Okay.
hard to make that shot with like a hack or bumper because you got to roll so far. But if
Sure.
you're throwing normal and hitting that much, you're probably rolling out. That's you look at where the guard was. She rolled 7-8 feet and just rolled into the house. Like it's a tough shot.
This one comes into the top of the 12. It's going to be dispatched.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened to that, but you have to think something either it picked or the release wasn't clean, because they were trying to freeze the back one, and that drastically overcurled.
So Daisy Brown with her first last rock thrower for Team Steele.
I think you want the big roll here, even if you roll out. If you ever just roll to, where the broom is, for instance, it gives them a chance to freeze that back one again, and your rock will be in the way.
This one started moving pretty quick. Gonna make it. That's the sound of Shawn trying to decide if he likes it or not.
Yeah, well, I don't, but I don't like this shot either. I thought she'd hit the back one and roll underneath this one. You hit the one in the forefoot and roll under cover, and even if you roll past it because it's a tiny port, you're buried with a chance to maybe score 2 yet. There's no chance you're scoring 2 hitting this rock, because if you roll a corner behind the yellow, it's a pretty short run, right?
I even have a chance of making it.
If you make the double, you might be able to get back to a blank situation, but this is not an easy double either.
No, not for sure. Moving the broom just a hair.
And it's a hard double, a really hard double with that weight.
Well, this is going to curl past the nose. Let's get her onto the other side. July's second shot. So after this dispatching, Kerry Galusha is going to be looking at 2, if not 3, with her last.
Yeah, well, and she could put a lot of pressure on her here. If you get the hit and roll to just bite the forefoot, she won't be able to hit it on the nose and be shot without making the double anyway.
So Daisy Brown with the final stone of end number 2 of her team.
Early indications this is a little more weight than they had called.
Finishing pretty well. How far is it going to roll? You still got a clean look at the back one.
Yeah.
So the force is on.
Kerry just looking at the draw here, which, no surprise. That's always been the strength of her game. She's been such a great drawer for so many years.
And playing the draw with the broom that's going to provide her the backing. So here's Kerry Galusha, final rock, and number 2. A little bit of minor housekeeping. It's going to come right on down to the backing. No problem. Single point for Kerry Galusha. It's 2-1. Steele will have the hammer when we come back on Curling Stadium.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Back here at number 3 at the Beaumont Curling Club, it's the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Hack2House, Olson Hardline, and Tim's Ice Manufacturing, for helping us bring more curling to you. And we want to thank you for watching. If you haven't done it yet, please like and subscribe. It costs you nothing, and it does help us provide more curling to you. We have curling going on tomorrow as well. A full plate of games from both Beaumont and North Bay, starting at 11 o'clock in the east, 9 o'clock Mountain Time. And how's that event in Beaumont been going, Shawn?
Well, this is the event in Beaumont.
Oh. Oh, man.
And as we have that miscue, there's a miscue on the ice. They have the no tick zone. It's the guard. You were trying to refer to the event in North Bay.
In North Bay, yes, yeah. Well, I'll have the finals for that with Marty Thompson.
Oh, I did one of the games with Marty this afternoon, so
I was listening.
I had done a women's event from North Bay earlier, so I've never played in that rink, but they've got nice curl in there, which it was nice for the women's event. I want to say it was 2 weeks ago, maybe it was 3, but it's so critical with doubles. You need the curl so that they can play all the nice finesse shots. It's one thing for the hit, for the draws and the straight up hits, but finesse is such a big part of that game because you're just trying to move rocks around without necessarily killing them.
So that come around attempt did not get as deep as they want, so Stacey Brown will ask Megan to come right around the whole pile. Fair to say that both teams are not exactly at their sharpest at this exact moment, but hopefully we'll dial in the range as we go on. Still quite early. Kerry had no problem finding the 4-foot.
Yeah, like I said, Kerry's been such a great drawer for so long. Those were always the shots you didn't want to leave her if you could at a Scotties. You knew she could make any draw. She's made some fantastic draws through ports, even taps. That soft game, it's funny because Kevin, her brother, Kevin Cooey, everybody thinks of him with the high hard one, and yet for Kerry, she's the complete opposite. Like the soft shots, she's just so dangerous.
This come around 10 from Scouge is a little bit light.
It's getting a little congested up front.
Well, they believe they have a solution for that.
Looks like they're playing the peel on the center line guard over the top of the one that's just biting the 12. They might be able to make the double and pass it by the yellow as well.
On the one, bang, bang, and out the side door. Nice shot.
Some things are universal. You don't always know what everybody's hand signals mean, but usually the heel of the hand to the hip is bumper weight.
Yeah, every club has that. That's for sure.
I've thought about it a couple of times. I've never done it. I've talked to my own teams about it, and we've laughed about it. We've never done it. We should reverse the hand signal. So I'll put my hand on top of the head. That means hack weight. and the other team just won't know what we're doing. They'll think, oh man, they threw that bad. That was way lighter than they called for, and they still made the shot.
Interesting result there, because it does end up on the house. So the question is, do you want to keep on playing here or keep on cleaning?
I don't like this call. There's nothing on the center line. You've got last rock here. Unless you make the double here, you're probably getting forced. Come around.
Come around, or if you're that worried about it, clean up the wing. Or just do it then. Oh,
Yeah,
no, you
nope,
stuffed it.
Doesn't help you. Yeah.
No, you're right back where you started.
And I'm not seeing you getting 2 now, whereas if you'd have come around that guard, 2 was still in play. If it's looking like you're going to get forced, you may as well be forced to a deuce.
So now, Kerry's content to call the big split here.
I think you wanted this one in front of the tee line.
Pretty sure he did as well.
I'm not understanding hitting this either. I'd be freezing to it. You're not getting a blank here.
Yeah. It's a really tall order to...
Well, you're not getting the rocks grouped either. So
yeah. Right, the only way to group the rocks would have been to hit the one in the wings and hope to roll over.
Yeah, it's tough to... You can't see a lot of it.
No, you could just as easily wreck. Oh, probably more easily.
Yeah. Or roll out, It's
Yeah.
hard to hit enough of it to stay.
So, trading hits here.
We've got a miscue here, though, I think.
Sidney Galusha's gotta catch it. Oh, and just gets enough of it. But he really wants to stay around.
Yeah, now you can make a pass at this, though.
Sure, he can certainly possibly bring the blank back in.
Heather likes bumper weight here. If you're going to play this shot, I like that call because you've got the either or. If it looks like it's going to crash, you at least roll your shooter into the rings. And, then you force Kerry Galusha to make a play on a stone. If you just rub and roll out or peel the guard and roll out, she gets to split the house again.
Stone's on the way.
She made a nice one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lost the shooter, but...
That was a bit of fine art there to get through there.
Yeah.
Now here's Kerry Galusha. Just putting one in the rings. Looks like a blank is in our future.
Well, a blank attempt is in our future anyway, I would think. Now,
So, with that being said, what do you think of the trial rule that's going to be tried at the Slam?
I like it as much now as I did when we talked about it yesterday.
But we have a whole nother batch of viewers.
No, I think it's overdue, actually, if anything, and it's not. People talk about how good the players are, and it's not even all the players. It's the equipment. Everything has changed so much. You could make doubles and triples with less weight than you ever could. The ice is better. We used to always have frost to the wings, and it was hard to clear a lot of rocks. And the new striking bands, the rocks being so well maintained, it's made it too easy to clean house, and you get some promising ends built up and everybody just blasts to get out of it. Well, let's make the team with the offensive advantage, that last rock, let's make them play offense. Because if they do split the corners, it's still pretty hard to stop them from scoring two straight up defense. You almost have to play like you're trying to steal, and I think the opportunity presents itself then, if that's the way it's going to be done, that you see a lot of rocks in play and both teams playing fairly aggressively. It's going to make for some entertaining ends. Nerve-wracking for the players. I'd hate it as a player, but for a fan and as an announcer, it's going to make things exciting, I do believe.
And we had Jerry Gertzwith on us earlier today, and he was discussing the possibilities of these high-hitting teams that can make two rocks go with every stone could actually use it as a defensive tactic and force their opponent to take one because they're going to take it anyway.
Oh, well, they're the team with last rock. They have the offensive advantage. Make them play offense. It's too long it's been gone the other way. I have never heard in my life the team without last rock say, we better play this shot to keep the blank alive. It's always the team with the hammer, and that's the offensive advantage. They should not be thinking defense first. The team without that advantage, fine. They should be thinking defense first.
So now we have the blank attempt from Daisy Brown. Final stone of the third.
Just cleaning early. That's usually a good sign. Boy, it's thin, though.
It's very thin. But with those good stones, you have plenty of steam to make it out, so a blank is in the books. We'll see you in the fourth end. You're watching Curling Stadium.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts Charity Bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
Back here in Beaumont, blank in the third. Daisy Brown and Team Steele retain the hammer here in the fourth.
Gets that nice guard in, nice and tight, splitting the center. We saw how important that can be last end, as we had a no tick zone violation.
It's really a huge rule. Just because of the penalty, it's so large.
Yeah, they weren't playing the tick; they were playing the come around. But I've talked about this in previous broadcasts, ad nauseum almost, but it's one of those things that it was not an intended part of the change to the rule, but it's made these types of shots interesting because you used to maybe tight ice them a little bit on the theory that, well, if we crash the guard going by, we split it off the center line and maybe we get our shooter in the rings. Well, you can't do that anymore. So you have to make sure you take enough ice, and then what happens if you hang one out, leave it in the open where there's room to hit and roll in behind? It was not an intended change, but it makes things a little bit interesting.
And that come around attempt to the top pool went just behind the button. So Kerry Galusha is going to try to jump on this and freeze down to it.
Well, and that when coming behind the button, you can almost make the argument that has something to do with the rule as well, because they would not have swept that, knowing it was deep, if they could have ticked the guard. But they can't tick the guard, so they had to make sure they got by.
This one needs to finish a good amount. Well, it gets a little bit more of a bump than they certainly would have liked.
And back to the no tick because the position of the guard makes this shot touchy. You could just see the way she hesitated. She'd like to go after it, but you can't flirt with the guard. You touch the guard, it's like you said, Dave. It's such a strong penalty. Like it's a complete miss. It's you've got air. It's like throwing one through. Well, you can't afford to get nothing out of a shot right now, so they're going to play the draw. And right out of her hand, Heather Steele. That certain things universal. That hand held up like that. It's
never.
A little warm.
It's got plenty. This could really buckle over. Might end up okay. But there's a heck of a pocket there right now. So here's Ella Scodge. And this one's way out there.
And I think she might be light again, too.
Yes, indeed.
Steele team does have last rock, though, and center's getting cluttered up again, so she's going to look for the double peel.
I think this is another instance where the new rule would probably change the call.
Well, it would change the call in this one, yes, for sure. Although, I think arguably the call that it changed would have been earlier on that you don't come around the center guard at this end if you can't blank. You would have thrown the corner.
I think just peel the top one.
Leaves everything open in the house, though. You could make the double on the yellows, but you'd leave a double back on the reds. That's not great for the Galusha team either. Freeze the pocket again. It's pretty good.
So the stone on the way from Scodge.
Has to get to the inside of her own stone.
Sorry. Yeah, Shelterberg, rather.
Just got to the nose. Probably a double and roll under cover there.
I would definitely think that would be the prescription here. Seen Heather comfortable with the weight required.
Gonna play it with the out turn. Not a lot of room for the in turn. Might have been a little outside on this one. That's coming up nice.
Pretty close. One, and you get it far enough out of the way and you lie 3.
Curls just a hair more. She rolls dead buried and gets rid of the second red as well. But there probably would have been a path to that one at the back of the button. This is a pretty good result. She's not dead buried, but you can see it from the hack end. She's got half of the top yellow and half of the back yellow, not enough to stay on either one of them.
I see Kerry trying to see what they can see. She was thinking about just taking out the top one and rolling in front.
Can't throw a lot of weight if you're going to try to move it back and stay there. So this might just be like a draw tap. If you can get close to the nose, maybe move both yellows and start to get a wall of yellow behind this one. Still got a curl.
On and off usually means we're pretty close. Didn't get far enough to move the one off the lid. Did remove it though.
Not sure who's got second shot here.
Thinking yellow? No, red.
It's always a tougher call when the house, and in this case it's the 4-foot rings, it's the same color as one of the stones. It's misleading. There's that optical illusion.
Well, the other sheet, on sheet 3, the button itself, you could lose a red rock in.
Don't even need a guard.
The double on the red is made, no problem. There's a double back for sure.
Yeah, you'd sit open. Hard to hit this hard enough, thick enough to roll in front of that yellow, but it's probably available too.
Big extension on that one.
That's kind of the indication is they wanted to roll to a corner freeze. So you need the big weight and a thick hit and roll. It's going to get the hit, but not the roll.
Yeah, just dead on the nose was Sydney. Now a little hit and flop back to lie 3 again.
Yeah, I think this rock is third. I'm not sure I'd be trying to roll. You either hit it on the nose or you just draw. You'd hate to roll halfway there and leave a triple.
Or hitting third shot stone. They do roll, but they leave a place for Galusha to freeze to. Insta call right there.
Yeah. She wouldn't be buried if she played the freeze. She could chisel off the one that's open in the 8-foot. I think that's what she's looking. She doesn't need to necessarily get on top of the yellow either. If it stops side of the button, it's buried. So you got a few more options this way. If you're a little thin on the first one and you come into the side of that yellow, I still think you're dead buried.
So Kerry Galusha with her first. Facing 3. But with a good one, can put herself in a good spot. This has got to go.
Oh, the
Catches
thin double.
sliver. Thin double. Yes, indeed. Can they clear it out? No, but you are buried.
Yeah, stays buried. That was the thing about hitting thin on that one. You were going to come into the side of the yellow and stay buried. There were just so many options playing that shot.
Now, Stacey Brown is going to take on the chase here and dig it out.
This is probably one where once she makes it, she'd like the big roll, so she's not leaving some kind of pocket back there. Not a lot of weight.
Curling over fine to get the hit. Going to clear it out. They still lie 3, all well behind the tee line.
Good result, although there's probably... I was going to say double there. Kerry's looking at the freeze first. That's not bad. If you get anything corner frozen on the same side as those 2 yellows, it's hard to clear it by those.
The double's certainly there, and if you throw it and make it, it's going to be lined up to jam on the return shot.
Yeah. Well, you don't even necessarily have to play it. Like if she wants to play the draw, you corner freeze on that side, and how do you clear it by those yellows? Like even if she draws in front of that yellow that shot stone at the back of the 8, and her shooter's wide open, how do you get it out off the yellow ones? It's going into those 2 at the side somehow or another. You'd have to be very fortunate to pass it between them.
Definitely need to make a good one here facing 3.
You do, yep. The aggressive call, and they did talk about it, is just come around the guard, top of the forefoot, and try to steal the end. And that's there too.
And they're all going to talk about it because it's talking a 5-point swing, a steal 1, and you miss that draw. It's you possibly giving out 4.
This is. I'm sure she didn't say it, but I'd like to have mics on the players, and just once I'd like to hear her say, because it's Kerry in the house with Sydney, and I'd like her to say, your uncle would play the double. But I don't know that she would. And historically, this is the shot that Kerry would make, and she's so good at them.
Uncle Jamie, Uncle Kevin, or both?
Actually, both. Jamie would play it too, and he'd still probably make it. He's maybe not quite as good at them as Kevin, or not known as being quite as good at them as Kevin, but he does throw the upweight very well.
So here we go, taking on the draw. Huge shot in the 4th end here.
Yeah, but it's there, and Kerry's always been so good at these. You put this at the top, just full 4-foot dead in behind cover, and you're probably going to force Stacey Brown to try to draw to the button. Unless she decides to take on some risk because she's got 3 biters at the back.
Kerry Galusha with her last of the 4th. Needs to get to the 4-foot and be buried. Barber and Scudge need to get it there. Plenty of room past the guard. Does it have the legs? It needs the legs. You got to keep on going. Keep on scrubbing. Keep on pushing. And it just never had the weight. And it is 3rd shot, I do believe.
Yeah, but not much you can do about that to get the shot for 4, so you're going to have to draw for 3. Still puts you up by 4. You just could tell Kerry maybe didn't have quite the leg drive out of there that she wanted, because she gave it a little ad at the end, and it just wasn't quite enough of an ad. She had great line coming in, just needed a little bit more weight.
And most of the play has been directed at the other side of the sheet the whole end. Affects the draw weight just a little bit. That's all that matters in that situation. So Daisy Brown already has 2 in the pocket, looking to add a 3rd. Full 12-foot will do it. Not wanting to touch it. You don't have backing yet.
I think she's on her own now. She's got a ton of weight.
It's going to just hang on and be fine, and that's 1, 2, and 3 for Daisy Brown and Team Steele. They take the big lead as we head to end number 5 here from Beaumont. You're watching Curling Stadium. We'll be right back.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best brew in the game. Hardline, join the revolution.
Fourth.
With the lead, they wanted that first stone into the rings. As soon as it was coming deep, they decided they didn't want it behind the tee line, so
just let it go.
Daisy Brown sweeping it through, while Kerry Galusha was standing there hoping it would stop.
Yeah, when you find yourself down by a lot, all those rocks behind the tee line are generally your friend. Here comes the corner guard. It is up with no problem. Now, second try to put one in.
Yeah, and then the interesting thing will be, it'll be interesting to see if Kerry decides to throw a second corner.
Well, you had to make some sort of move at this point.
Yeah, you'd think so, right? You're down 4.
If you take 2 twice and force twice, you're going to lose.
Well, and Kerry's always been such a good drawer, and you watch, having watched her at the Scotties over the years, the ends where she's so dangerous when she's got a lot of rocks in play. And there it is. Call for the second corner guard on the same side. The other thing that made me wonder about it is she bent over to sweep that rock a little bit to get it tighter, and usually when you want the really tight corner guard, that means you're throwing the high one on the same side on the next one.
So trying to bring this one just over the hog line, and this can be a really tricky shot to throw sometime. Kerry wants to personally escort it.
A little tighter than they would have liked, but they are nicely in line, and this is still just the 5th rock at the end, so they can't do anything about it yet.
So now just another one into the rings.
Yeah, that's all you can do here for Daisy Brown, the Steele team, is you try to put some rocks in the middle. You know that eventually Kerry Galusha is going to have to deal with those, and while she's dealing with those, you're going to try to clean up the corner. It's a little bit of cat and mouse, but it's part of the game under the free guard zone. You kind of know the script. You got to keep them in the get my tongue to work this late in the night. You got to keep them busy in the middle while you try to deal with the corner. That's not a good result. Left them side by side. That's a freeze waiting to happen. The double's available as well, yeah.
Yeah, looks like she's going to take the double and roll under cover. Take care of 2 necessary things that had to be done at once.
Probably not throwing big weight here. So the second one might not leave the house, but it'll get well out of that 4-foot area.
Need this to come over just a skosh. It's not going to get underneath those guards. Well, you moved them, but you left yourself wide open. So do you lose the guards or you lose one of the rings?
The guards are probably more dangerous.
There we go. Colin Peel weight. On this one, right out of her hand. Might have got it started just a touch. Gonna stuff it.
Just gonna change the color of one of them, really. It's still overlapped.
I think you had to draw under there.
Yeah, I mean, you're either drawing under straight. Well, yeah, the freeze is there too. You could try to split as well. And the only reason you'd look at that is because if you come underneath at just the wrong depth, you could leave a double. So this is one where you come around, you really need to be T-line. If you're top 8, you probably leave a double on the reds.
So Ella Skoge trying to loop one around here. It's sufficiently around. Can it sufficiently stop? And the answer to that is no.
Been short on a couple of draws, this time coming through the house.
That's one where I think it's a little bit better communication. You probably could have wicked off.
Could have played the split if they made the decision early. And the split wasn't a bad call there anyway.
It didn't clear that stone in the house by much.
You're not wrong to hit this, but if you wanted to play the double peel on the last one, I'm not sure why the double peel is not still the right call.
As you know, as sure as apples were created, we're drawing under now.
Yep. You can play whichever shot you want to in that place. I'd like to see a team be consistent in your approach, and they just flip-flop from one shot to the next. The situation didn't change, but the shot did, and that's something they might want to take a look at after the game.
Oh, Sydney. Yeah, Sydney got one under there at least. A little bit deep, but
a little deep, but coming around a corner, it's not bad being deep. It's more important to be buried, and you've got a 4-point lead here. If you could convince them to chase, you'd be happy. So they're going to play the peel, and if they're going to play the peel, you're probably happy that it's that far back because it makes it tougher for them to get all 3 of these.
So on the peel, trying to get both of them. You're only going to get one. Does leave the back one half open if you put this in a good enough spot. Almost going.
That point looked like they were playing the guard. I don't think I'd be guarding a rock in the back of the 8 when you could come around and sit 2 for now.
There's the reference. Okay. Yeah, they're looking to come around to the 4-foot.
Yeah. Let her hit that one if she wants to on the outside. She's not rolling towards the middle.
On this one, hard. Gotta hold the line. Need line and weight here.
Yeah, it's a guard now.
Yep, well. In a good spot. But definitely not the intended outcome.
There's a port there. It's a little risky. Indicate what they can see, and she said not much. Yeah, hard to make the double peel too. You could draw, not what you want to do when you're up 4. Just going to play the port.
And it's one of those either or. Just make sure you hit something red here.
Yeah.
As long as you hit one of them, your situation got better.
Yeah, you shouldn't be giving up more than 2 here. If you peel the corner guard even, yes, Kerry will come around the center. If she makes it really good, you hit the open one, you give her 2.
So Daisy Brown with her first. Are you going to get to any of it? Yes, you just catch the edge of it and clear it out. Thought we had a field goal there for a second.
Yeah, it was a really nice shot, though. It was hard with that weight to go through everything. I was surprised it didn't finish a little harder. But I think they were probably closer to the outside guard than they expected to be.
I missed the call here. Did she call
She's
for
coming
the draw
around.
one? Okay.
Yeah, coming around the center. Still has a chance to get her deuce here.
Scodge and Barber watching this one. She was light in the last end and a little bit heavy in this one end.
Yeah, just back 12. Now, there is a double available on the yellows, and it's tough to chase that red one. So, Daisy Brown's going to have to draw here. And if you're Kerry Galusha, you're happy to make your opposition draw. But it's hard to see any place she could leave this that's going to leave a triple. Like the angle's she's got good angle for a double right now. I just don't know where she could put this where there might be a shot for the triple. I guess if she's just top button, it would be close, right?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of green spots and very few red spots. So Daisy Brown skipping and throwing last for Team Heather Steele. Initial indications are that this is heavy.
Well, it's way wide, too.
Maybe they can chisel off their own now. With a little roll. Okay, buddy, get out your protractor.
I think she got away with it just because the angle that they're at, it's hard to get the middle one out.
It's the one that, that's the...
And Kerry's not even going to look at it. I mean, it just ended up in a spot where the 3 yellows are in such an angle where that middle one's pretty hard to get rid of. You'd certainly make the double. You hit it on the nose, it'll make 2 of them go away, but the middle one's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I think you'd have to hit the top one on the nose almost where you almost missed the second one.
Yeah.
But then you might not have enough steam to get the third one out.
Fortunate to hit it the way they did, because if they hit it more straight back and end up with the yellows, the first 2 yellows in line and corner frozen on the back one, the triple might be there, and those just off nose triple might have been there.
Kerry Galusha, final stone, and number 5 needs a 4-foot. Rushers seem to like it.
Well, when I saw a little dancing, it does stop it back 4 though.
It's just good enough. The back of the 4-foot's just as good as the front of the 4-foot. She gets her single, trailing by 3. Steele has a hammer and 6 when we come back.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it.
Come on. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
And we're back here in the Beaumont Curling Club. It's a Hack2House Alberta curling series. Kerry Galusha forced to a single after having a couple of attempts at being able to score multiple. Starts with the center guard here.
Well, it's down 3 ends to go. The rules in her favor, right? You've got 5 rock-free guard zones, so you could throw up 1, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her throw 2 center guards, except for that first one's that in that dreaded halfway spot where it's tough to throw another one and get separation.
Unless you can throw the one that's just a hair over the hog line. That's so tough.
Even then, there's only going to be about 8 feet of separation between the two. Not that they can play a double peel yet, but
yeah. Now I do like. Yeah.
You don't want a halfway guard with the first one when you're going to throw 2. That's the problem.
That's for sure. Now I do like this call. They're going to play a guard in front of their opponent's rock to try to make it good that way.
Yeah. It's okay sitting right on the face of it, too.
That's a pretty good way to make lemons out of lemonade.
Yeah, probably didn't want to tap it that far.
No. So here's Megan Schaltevert with a really deep tuck there.
Always nice to see a young player with their heel off the ice where it belongs. They won't be happy with that result, though. Basically, it's another center guard. Kerry Galusha's got 4 rocks lined up on the center line where she's trying to steal here. She couldn't ask for a better situation, really. Now you got to try to take advantage. Got to get something in a good position early because you know the peels are going to start now.
Ella Scodge.
And she
They're always been tough, and well, that's because it's very light. It just has been a struggle for her today. Gets in the way.
Yeah, fortunate where it ended up. Again, there's probably no way to get all 3 guards. It's kind of the same situation as it was last end. You could make 2 go away, but the middle one, that red one that was just thrown, isn't going anywhere. And actually, to even make 2 go away, you're probably leaving your shooter up there. So probably all you can do here is peel 1. Hit about 3/4, it might make contact with the one that was just thrown and at least get the yellow one moved far enough that it's not in behind it.
And they get the straight peel. Leave their shooter way out in the wings. But take 2 with the draw, come around.
Yeah. Slow overlap, but the double peel's pretty easy now. So, really critical to make a good one here. You expect the double peel to be made, then you need to be able to guard this stone for the rest of the end. So it's got to be good enough to steal with. You want a piece of that button here if you could get it.
Ella Scodge.
Don't think she's getting button with this one either. They jumped it right out of her hands.
This needs to go. Wrecks a little bit and does find its way into the 12-foot.
Made the double peel maybe just ever so slightly harder, but it's still there. And that yellow actually might catch the stone that was just delivered on the way by, too.
Yep. So we're going to see Heather throw a bit of weight at this one. Get the one, shoot it out the back, and you make the double peel. Absolutely no problem.
So now you have to guard the 2 closest to the center line, the red, yellow. And if it plays through the rest of the end like this, she'll play the red onto the yellow with their last one. And she gets hit 3, and the one just biting the 4-foot now when you hit it straight back. So she'd have full 8 buried, sitting 3. Drop path would be a little tough.
This does have to be a good guard first, though. Probably a little bit deeper than you would have liked.
Yeah, I don't know that she's ever playing the straight back, though. That's a little risky. I will be curious to see if she plays it towards the other red, which still comes with its own risk. You could just peel it out on the open side. She's wondering about can you get enough of the rock in the rings? That's what she's looking at. There's a double there on the reds, and I guess if you crash the guard, it's not the end of the world.
On the way, trying to get it past. Just going to peel the top one. I'll give Kerry a chance to throw a better one. This one's got a long way to curl.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the problem. It's whether or not it's going to stop in time. And it didn't. He's got a little more of it this time.
Yeah, well, he's certainly going to take a shot at it now. Had the Steele, her last on the way. On it again, really hard.
Don't think she got out to the broom on this one.
Nope. You just don't want to leave a guard. And spinning it on for a little bite or two.
Might have, yeah. It's close for sure. Don't think Kerry can really worry about that now. You know, she could throw one more guard, but of course, Heather Steele and Daisy Brown know that if you leave this for the last shot, she's going to play the run back. So if you guard it now, there's a pretty good chance Daisy doesn't peel the guard.
Doing some housekeeping on the ice.
This right on the nose, stay dead in front of your own.
First one on the way from Kerry Galusha. Needs to get right to the face. Right on up to the face. Did get a little bit of an offset there. So what do you do now?
Well, she's looking at hitting the one out in the open first and then rolling into the one that was just raised up. You know, the problem is it's really thin. There's probably a thin triple there. You hit about a quarter of the first one, it goes over the top. The second one gets that, and the shooter comes into but it's, I mean, anytime you're hitting a quarter or less, you're flirting with missing it altogether. You hit half, you probably jam it and roll out.
And then they were also looking at doubling the ones in the center.
Yeah, yeah. Then she's just going around it, though. So she's gone back to her first call, hit the most open stone and try to roll in towards the one that was just thrown.
Casey Brown on the out-turn double attempt. This is going to come up a little bit too thick, I believe. Now it does make it over.
Have to nudge it. She's sitting shot rock, but it gives Kerry that same short run back. It's a little shorter even this time. Not sure if you could make this in a way. If you could just get ever so slightly across the face, have your shooter roll over about a rock's width, make the run. Yes, it'll roll a little bit to the center, to the broom side, but I don't think you could hit it on the nose and be shot rock. And if you could get your shooter kind of in the way of that other one, she wouldn't be able to hit either one of them to get shot rock. You've got a pretty good chance to steal if that could happen, but that's tough to get across the face. You have to make sure you drive it onto the yellow. You're not playing with a lot of room there.
Her last is on the way. It's a long way to come.
A lot more rotation on this one.
Bang, bang. Well, they will lie 3.
The push stone ended up in a pretty good spot because if this is a nose hit double, but if you're a sliver on the outside, you miss the second one, and if you cross the face, you're jamming it.
Yeah, if you even set this out a little bit, you're going to be giving up a steal too.
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't have any room to roll out.
So final stone in the 6th end. JC Steele needs a nose double.
Not narrow. They've called for the switch. She's sweeping on the offside to try to get some curl.
And right over the top and on the way out, and it is a steal of 2. So we got ourselves a game, folks. 5-4 after 6. We'll be right back. You're watching Curling Stadium.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
We're back here. End number 7 from the Beaumont Curling Club, the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series. Dave Schmel and Shawn Joyce here with you. And it was an unexpected steal for Kerry Galusha there.
Unexpected, but she really wasn't in a bad spot when she made the little run on her last one. She left it sitting in a spot where, there's a couple of ways to steal, and one of them is to get something dead buried on the top of the button. The other one is to make your opposition look at a lot of rocks, and they have to make she would have had to make a roll to the inside to score. And there's always the danger when you're playing a double with your last one. You missed the back one, or in this case, missed the back one and rolled out, turned into an extra point. It's always been the way to steal one is you've got to either bury something really good or sit 2, or in that case 3, and leave something where she's got no easy, just nose hit, and she didn't have an easy hit. It was going to have to be a double.
So that first center guard is up. It's a little bit higher than it was the last end. So might be some room to get one behind it now.
It makes things a little more interesting in the 7th end too, because it was a steal of 2. Like, going into that end, you're thinking, well, for Kerry to have a chance, she's got to steal 1 point at a time, including the extra end. She actually could get a force now. She forces the single here. She's got the hammer coming home. A deuce would tie it and put it into an extra end, and 3, which is not impossible in the 5 rock free guard zone, would actually get her the win. So she doesn't have to play as full out aggressive to get the steal. She definitely doesn't want to see a blank end here, but a force isn't a bad result either.
I do believe they were looking for a guard, then they got one top button, so just going to draw down to it right now. And this is going to find the brakes if it's ever going to get to it, and it won't. It's about 12 feet too heavy.
At least. Yeah.
So now Ella will get an opportunity to throw the guard, and Kerry's going to try to open up the steel store again.
Yeah, you saw the indication there. You know, you could afford to be right down on the face of your own here. They peel the guard. You guard it for your life for the rest of the end. And, you know, if you're right on the face of the shot stone, the potential to steal 2 again is there.
You always mention that Kerry's strength is to play with a lot of stones in play. And so from a comfort level standpoint,
oh yeah, she's loving this.
Certainly her jam, and they do lie too. We're going to rip the guard.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind clipping that yellow on the way by. You might even drive it into the pile. Oh, we're getting serious. The hoodie's got to come off for this one.
Put it on an extra gear. I think they are going for that shot you were hoping for.
Yeah, that yellow's not doing you a lot of good where it is now anyway, so if you could ever clip it, you know, it's coming towards those reds, and you'd love to move those rocks that picked. I don't know whether that picked something up or if it was just if she clipped the back of the handle when she let it go. I don't know if we're going to have a replay on that, but you know, I'm going to be watching it on the YouTube for the replay, see if I can catch it. But it made a hard turn right after she let go, and it either grabbed something or she clipped the back of the handle. I think it grabbed.
I think she just held on to it for too long.
You think so?
Yeah, that's what my initial impression was watching it on the YouTube.
It was a very sudden move.
Like, there was so much rotation, it's almost as if she hit, double touched it. So now we're going to guard for our life. Well, you play the peel here, and if you ever find your way through the port, fine. That's their discussion. And there's still a little bit of a speed wobble there. Just going to get the peel. And we're in guard land.
We are. And the difference this end as opposed to last end is this is a situation where you'd guard this right through to the end. There's nothing you need to do with any of the rocks in the house. You'll guard it straight through. Now, Heather Steele, Daisy Brown, they know that as well. But I'm not sure what else they could play other than peel right through to the end and then draw with the last one. So it's a long ways out there again.
We saw the last one. Yeah, we saw the last one turn.
Needs to at least touch center. She'd like to get a couple of inches across. Yeah, a little better this time. No port.
It does make it all the way there.
Going to make a pass at it. Boy, the danger to this shot is you hit it a little thin, jam it on the yellow stone, and spin it into the top 12, and then you might be facing 3 with your last one. But, it's in tight enough that there is a chance to get all 3 reds moving. You're not likely getting rid of them all, but anything you could do to make that stone on the top of the 4-foot, not quite as good as it is right now, might give you a chance to score. This is already across the nose, though.
We adjust the peel. They say, whoa, because they want no parts of that yellow being around.
Yeah. It just didn't get all the way out to the stick.
So we'll lather, rinse, and repeat.
You'd like to get that line again, but up a little higher.
One thing I noticed is that Sydney gets a lot of finish at the end of her drill shots. But this one is way out there.
Gonna need a lot of finish on this one.
Now, here it comes. It takes that left turn at Albuquerque and all the way back to the center.
They had to bring it tighter, though, to get back to the line they needed, so there's still a chance to get 2 or 3 of these moving.
The angle's probably even a little bit better right now.
It's better. It's in tighter. It would be hard to jam it on that yellow and leave it there. I don't think she got out to the broom again, though.
Holding it. Going to catch anything on the way by. Maybe the one in the back. Yes, you do move it off the button. Still on the 4-foot.
It's better, but you're still going to be facing a pile with your last one.
Now, yeah, just come right on in. So Kerry Galusha has found some life where just a couple ends ago it didn't look like we were even playing this end. Can she be the comeback queen here in Beaumont?
Yeah, she gets this one around to the top button area. I don't know what Daisy Brown does with her first one. You play the run. It's great if you make it, but if you don't make it, you're not going to have anything for your second one. That's a little in out on the release. They will curl here.
I think they need to go to get it there, though.
Yeah, I don't think she's got the weight on this one. Daisy Brown might have to draw, though. She's got the lead in last rock. She'd like to be hitting something, but...
Would you ever try to come around the intern side and take out that one in the back and end up underneath the cover yourself?
Yeah, I see what you're looking at. Hard to make that shot and not be behind the tee line, though, and then Kerry comes around the one she just threw, and if she's even half behind at the top of the 4-foot, you probably can't get it out without jamming on the one that you leave back there. This is her get out of jail shot. She's got to make it first. If you make it too good, Kerry will run the guard back, and if she makes it, she's still looking at a big steal.
So Daisy Brown, they're first. This has got plenty of room to work. Now you got to try to carve it over to get there. They looked at the stopwatch and was not satisfied with the answer. They do get shot stone out of it.
That's a pretty good spot, though. I think Kerry will have to make a play on that stone, and then he'll have the same shot to score.
Do you think she could ever play a quiet enough weight to
hit it on the nose? She could, but again, a force is okay for her. She can't flirt with, you rub the guard, you give up 2.
Just seen that the draws have been no easy test, so.
No, they haven't. You get the hit and roll to the outside, the draw's still got to be made too.
Kerry Galusha with her last. This is going to be pretty tight to the guard. Gotta go to squeeze it by. Gotta squeeze it by. Oh! You get there and you're going to lie 3. Great brushing to keep it there.
Now Daisy Brown probably has to play that wide intern.
Kerry Galusha with her last. Look at that huge scrub. This is going to be pretty tight to the guard. Shona Barber. Gotta go to squeeze it by. Gotta squeeze it by.
They were just happy to get it by.
You get there and you're going to lie 3.
It was almost one of those spots where if Ella had been ready, you jump on the other side after it's by the guard. You might have got a sliver under and maybe got. I don't think you ever could have got to the 4 foot. It's probably as good where it is as you were ever going to get, but. It has
play around it through the weeds.
Yeah, and that's the issue, right? You're throwing really wide here. Speed's liable to be different.
Daisy Brown. Final rock of end number 7. Pacing 3. This one's starting to buckle. They like the line. And she'll get there and make her single. Not without any drama, but Kerry Galusha will have the hammer. Down by 2 and 8. We'll be back from Beaumont after this.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Join us this March for the House of Hearts charity bonspiel in Duluth, Minnesota. Help raise funds for Project Joy, who provides meals for hungry kids in our community. Every donation helps to ensure no child goes hungry. Join us and make a difference. Together, we can spread joy.
And we're back here at the Beaumont Curling Club. It's the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series. And Shawn, Joyce, Kerry Galusha can smell life here.
She can. She's got the last rock coming home. She's going to throw the corner guard, and we saw her already way back in the 5th through 2 corner guards, same side. And if you're going to try to score 3, it's hard to do it with 1 corner guard. We may see them throw 2 again. The first attempt, they come around, or they were trying to come into the top of the 4-foot, and it's right through the house. So that's not helping the Steele team at all. That's not, you put these rocks in the middle just to force Kerry Galusha to have to deal with them at some point in time. Well, that's 1 rock already she doesn't have to deal with.
And that corner guard is relatively tight, so you have plenty of room to stack one.
Yeah, that's the way they did it 3 ends ago when they played it. They stacked them both on the same side. Different teams have different ways they like to approach it, but a lot of teams nowadays will throw the tight corner and then the long corner, same as you do when you're throwing 2 centers, because they feel like that way you've always got 1 path open for the draw to the button with the last one. This one's not going to be short either.
See how far Kerry can bring it. It's right behind the tee.
She's happy with it back there.
Well, definitely something to lock on to and cause trouble.
Didn't take her very long to call the high corner guard.
Now this... Pretty sure this is predestined even if they didn't throw.
Yeah.
And look how high she's standing. She wants it way up there.
Yeah, she's not going to get it.
No. But this is the same result they had the other end. They ended up relatively tight. That's probably a little bit too tight.
Can't play the double peel yet, though. It is there, when they get a chance to hit, but this is still just the 5th stone of the end. You can't peel guards yet.
Now, would you consider... assuming this stone goes into the house, trying to throw another corner guard now?
I would, yeah.
Same side or go to the other side?
I'd want to guard those 2, really.
So you're making the big pile on that side.
Yeah, but you've got it. Yeah, I mean, if you play it, you'd have to be high.
Megan was quite clear saying don't sweep that. And you see why. It's a little heavier than they want it. It's going to come down to their own, though. Just let it grind and it got there.
Still not in a good spot.
Looks like...
I don't think there's any way you're convincing me to throw takeout of this. I don't mind just moving it. I'd hate to kill either one of them, to be honest, right now. In a perfect world, if you're playing to move it, you get playing it from this turn, you get just ever so slightly across the face, and that way your rock and the yellow will both roll the same direction. You might be able to stay frozen on it. You're just moving the back one.
You're not going to get any roll here.
No, that needed to curl a little bit more. I didn't. Yeah, they might have been playing the roll behind the corner, but that just gives her all kinds of room to play the double peel.
And that is what's on order.
Yep. Well, and you're not frozen now either, so you make the double peel. It's 3's pretty much out of the equation. You hit this double peel right, you actually could get all 3 of them.
This is not a ton of weight. Get 1, 2. Really get that other one out through the back. Just enough weight to clear it. That was absolutely critical.
Yeah. Now you have to guard shot rock and just hope you get a shot for 2. Can't tell you as this one makes its way down. I don't have all the scores, but the one pool that had the chance for a log jam. Serena Gray Withers was 2-0 going in. She's got a 7-1 lead over Michelle Hartwell, and if Gray Withers wins that particular game, she would go to 3-0, and then I think it's everybody at 2-1 or better would be in the playoffs. Yeah, I wanted to stay with that, I think, on the brush, because now Kerry can go around it. Yeah, you're going to be able to hit shot rock, but, you know, Kerry's only got one guard to work with. If she's going to try to get 2 or 3, you come around now, let them hit that shot rock. Maybe they roll out, maybe they roll too far. You got a rock at the back 8 over there that you could freeze to yet, too. You can only get at it from one turn. I think that's what they're playing now as plan B. This was not the call, but it's out there a long ways and heavy, so they're going to play the freeze.
You can
real
probably make the
heavy.
double. Yeah.
You could, and there's not a lot of risk going for it. I guess you hit the first one too thick and go over the top of the second one. They're coming around. And it's probably too thick.
Yeah, way too thick and go over the top. So I'm going to play right on down to that one again.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be all the way down to it. Get something in front of the tee line behind cover. If you could ever force the Steele team into playing something kind of finesse towards those backstones, that's how you maybe bring 3 back into play. Don't even have to be second shot here. You need to be buried. They're throwing a hand up, but I think this is in a great spot. Oh, it's a little deep. They had to sweep it to get by.
Yeah. So now you have a pocket to draw to.
Well, if I'm Kerry Galusha, I'm happy to have the other team drawing right here.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. You're putting
The slash,
powder there.
slash double's there. She didn't even look at it. It's not without risk, but it's there. I don't think you could ever see enough of the red to jam it on the yellow. Even if you did, I don't think it stays. Got to be right on the face with this, or maybe even slightly to the center line side. If you over curl the freeze, you might not be shot rock. And then Kerry just follows it down, tries to sit on the inside corner. Oh, you don't want to bounce. Double to sit 3.
That changes the equation.
It does.
Well, if they weren't looking at that slasher, I'm pretty sure they're going to be looking at it now.
Well, it's no good now because,
Yeah.
mind you, it depends on if this doubles me. Now, I'm just trying to decide, does she have to clip the second one?
I don't think so.
Did she just play the quiet wait, pass it by that one, and roll over?
I think you want that yellow to stay right where it is right now.
Well, I think it's 4th. Like that's, or is it?
I do
If
believe it's 4th.
If it's 3rd, you need to You need to move it. But if it's fourth, it could just stay right there. Thank you very much.
It's extremely close.
Yeah. Make the double first and then worry about what kind of slash she's got left, I think is probably the way to look at this. You know, if you just pass it by the, even if you're not third, you'd certainly be sitting 2. This is out there.
Already trying to make it curl.
Quiet wait, so they got a chance.
It is curling pretty hard now. Has to guard, no problem. And that's pretty nifty.
Yeah, you forced her to draw. I'm pretty sure red's sitting at least 2, and it might be 3 already.
Yeah, that is extremely close.
Heavy on the last one. Same problem here. You bounce out, you leave a double for the win.
So Daisy Brown once was in thorough command of this game, now needs to draw to bail it out. Haven't laid a stick to it now. Now they're trying to push it over. This is all the way down to them and then some. Where's it going to end up? So they lie first, but it is Galusha 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. Can you get to the nose of that? It's enough to get it out.
Well, they're trying to see how much they can see.
Well, you can see a lot more than that.
But when you push it back, does it move it far enough to bring
Well,
in the other one?
Well, you gotta take it out off the red. So that's the thing. You gotta throw at least control weight. Like, you're not making this with hack or bumper, I don't think. And how much will it finish with that weight? It's got to finish after the guard.
Well, job number 1 is to make sure you get 2 and you're still alive.
Well, I'm not seeing you get 2 unless you get that out off the red one. Like, I think if you
right.
jam it, it's still second shot, right?
Right, but if you keep other stuff around, maybe you're 3.
If your nose hit, you're getting 3, right? But can you get to the nose with enough? That's what I'm wondering. Can you get to the nose with enough weight? Because the yellow's going to come back onto the red, and it's still got to have enough to get all the way over the top of the yellow and out of the 8-foot anyway. And that's the question, because she can't see all of it. It's going to have to finish coming by the guard. If you hit on the center line side, it's not leaving.
And the way that they're set up, there's no play on the outside red.
No.
So it's going to have to come from here. The whole team's going to talk
and
about
it has to be takeaway. Like, you can't even throw something soft and try to get across the face, because if you miss the red one, it's still going onto the yellow, and it's going to be second shot. So you have to play it with takeout weight. It's got to hit the red and go over the top of that back yellow. I think it's probably there. It's tough. Like, you got to flirt with the guard, but even with takeout weight, the rocks have been curling up a bit at the end. She's got to have to be really tight by the guard, get some finish, nose hit that yellow, and out off the top of the red. You don't have to have peel, but you got to have, at least, firm side of control.
That's where you have to get to.
Maybe like a 10.
think I saw the motion for a second that they thought maybe they could catch maybe a quarter of the stone and go off their own red and clear it that way. And just take their 2.
You're losing too many red rocks, I think, if you do it that way. Or you're talking off the corner of the back red. Well, that's what I've been talking about the whole time. But you got to get to the nose to make that. So you look at that hack view, and it doesn't look great, but even the takeouts, we've seen them move at the end. So if you just skinny by the guard, and you may see Ella jump as soon as you're by the guard, you might see Ella jump on the brush, try to get that last little bit of curl. Nose hit. You're basically trying to double the yellow-red, the red at the back of the 8. And this could be for 3 in the win.
Kerry Galusha, final stone of the 8th. Get her past the guard. Past the guard. Past the guard. Now, does it come up enough? You hit it. You make contact, and it's not going to work. It's a steal of 1 for the win. And Team Heather Steele will take the victory by a final score of 7-4.
Well,
so Shawn, that just seemed a little hotter than it had to be almost.
I'm not sure what they were playing. It almost, because they swept it to hold it straight, so it looked like they were trying to spin it out that way. The problem with that is you were never going to sit 2 off that. You were only ever going to get 1, so because it wasn't going to touch the yellow at the back. But regardless, it looks like Kerry Galusha will be through to the playoffs, and that might have affected their play today as well. As they knew they had a spot in the playoffs. They're going to be playing tomorrow, probably in the morning, because it looks like we're going to have perhaps 2 teams through to 3-0, so they'll get the buys, and then the other 4 playoff teams will play in the quarterfinals tomorrow morning. 3-0 teams should be set ahead to the semis. A lot of action yet to come in the playoffs here tomorrow.
Absolutely, and it'll start at 9 o'clock Mountain, 11 o'clock Eastern, right from here in Beaumont. We'll also have action starting at noon Eastern from North Bay. But right now, that's all we have from here. For Shawn and Joyce, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a pleasant evening.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.